Welcome to Blissful Consults. Let's go on to our question from Mina from California. I've battled with depression since I was a teenager. It is well managed now through therapy and medication. Very nice. I've been working hard on changing my behaviors, like going out for a walk and attending socially distant happy hours at work. By nature, I am a bit shy and introverted. When I'm doing these things, sometimes it feels like I'm faking who I am, even though it does feel good afterwards. Is it normal to feel like I'm working hard to be happy and engaged in certain settings? Oh, this question. One thing that I love so much about working with people who are just so committed to getting well and being their best selves and working through anxiety and depression and trauma is that the people who I've worked with are so open to changing who they are and changing aspects of themselves that are no longer working, shifting parts of their daily habits that aren't serving them. And I think sometimes I've noticed that the individuals who are so willing to change, who understand that they have depression, understand that they have anxiety, sometimes the scale can tip to the other end and they think that anything they might not be open to means there's something damaged about them that they need to change. So I had put this in the Instagram post. This is a quote from narrative therapy. I'm not sure if people are familiar with that. It's a postmodern therapy approach that really says that all people are good and worthy, and every single person has the ability to be the best that they can be. And there are times when people in the narrative therapy community will, picture a person sort of similar to the statue of David that, I don't know if you all know this, but it was just a giant block. And that beautiful statue was just carved out of this block. And so one main tenet of narrative therapy is that everybody has that beautiful being within them, and that we just have to chip away until that being emerges. I also think sometimes we have parts of our personality that we need to just accept and recognize. As much as we try to shift them and change them, it just might be who we are. And that's when our community can start to shift and accommodate who we are, as opposed to us frequently and always changing, trying to be less anxious, doing exposure therapy, shifting our thoughts, shifting our behaviors. Sometimes our community can come in and give us a little break. So this quote says, "The person is never the problem. The problem is the problem." So let's just say that one more time. So the person is never the problem. The problem is the problem. So when we think about Mina from California saying, is it normal to feel like I'm working hard to be happy and engaged in certain settings? I would say that yes, it's normal to feel like when you're trying to improve yourself, when you're trying to when you're doing something new, it's essentially exposure therapy. If you're shy and introverted and you go to a barbecue every week, or you go hiking with a group every week, it's going to be uncomfortable because that's exposure therapy. Just like someone who's really extroverted, when they sit quietly and meditate, or when they take time to take a walk alone or read a book, that's exposure therapy for them. The part of this question that I think is sort of underlying is, it seems like Mina is doing a lot of things that are against her grain and current. And I would also just say it's sometimes okay to just go with your own wave, like go with your own current. It's fine. It's okay. You don't always have to be working toward identity development. Sometimes you just have to chill. You have to just be yourself. Even if you know in that moment it might help you to get out, or it might help you to take a walk. It might help you to challenge yourself. There are some times when you just need to have that self-compassion and love. and recognize that you don't always have to be in that struggle for, in that commitment for self improvement. Sometimes it feels unsustainable, and it's okay to just decide you're not going to do the thing today. And that's also okay. I had put a little graph in the Instagram post where there's on one side of the continuum, there's people who say, there's nothing wrong with me at all. Everyone has to change for me. And then on the other side of the continuum, if there's something wrong, it's probably me and I should change. And so, I notice a lot of people who are in therapy frequently err on this side because they know that elements of there's elements of what they're working through, and there's elements of some patterns that they have that they want to change. I also wonder if some of these lovely people who I have the privilege of often working with could shift over here a little bit. Maybe there's nothing wrong. Maybe you don't have to change anything today. Maybe you are just okay the way that you are, and that to take a break is also something worthwhile. I hope that was helpful for Mina in California.